Little maintenance, the necessary supplies are waiting for you at Century Lumber on Main Street in Ainsworth.
No overpriced lawn services, no headaches. Call on Steck Lawn Care in Ainsworth. Grant Steck offers mowing services, landscaping, seasonal cleanup, and more. You can even reserve your mow day and rate for next season now. Call or text 402-760-1808.
Well, very good afternoon, and welcome to McAndrew Gymnasium for annual feature of area wrestling on KBRB, as we are set to have a little quadrangular here. Ainsworth, North Central, Todd County, South Dakota, and Twin Loop will be here one day ahead of the annual Ainsworth Wrestling Invitational to take part in a little quadrangular. We have 5 dual matches scheduled to be wrestled here under the lights at McAndrew Gymnasium. Greg Kinsey joining you here on FM 92, along with Bill Lentz, our local wrestling guru, who helps us out when we get up here for the mat men. And well, on the basketball court this afternoon, we had a great game over on AM 14, FM 106.3 in the Southwest Conference Tournament semifinals. It was Minden with a late free throw, steal, and layup to defeat Ainsworth 61-58. Bulldogs missed a 3 for the tie at the buzzer, so Ainsworth will be in the consolation third-place game tomorrow afternoon, and we will have that one on KBRB. Ainsworth girls coming up over on AM 14, 106.3, 6:30-ish to maybe 7 for that broadcast as Ainsworth takes on Broken Bow in the girls semifinals. Well, here we have Ainsworth, North Central, Todd County, and Twin Loop set to take to the mats in this annual wrestling showcase on KBRB. And, well, Bill, numbers down a bit for the Bulldogs. They'll have potentially 3 in uniform tonight. And it sounds like maybe just 2 wrestlers actually available, or the way the duels work, if they get an opening at Jensen Williams, so I'd bracket at 182. He's been dealing with some injuries, so he's in uniform, but it looks like won't be on the mats. But if he can go out there and get a forfeit situation against these dual opponents, if they don't have anybody at that weight class, they'll do that. But have available Mason Painter at 120 and Landon Holloway at 152, we believe, are the wrestlers who will be available for the Bulldogs in this one. Same way for Todd County. They have just 3 wrestlers listed, but it's a pretty good roster of wrestlers for both North Central and Twin Loop, so we'll see some action in match number 2, especially when those 2 teams square off.
Yeah, one of the things about duels at this time of the year is they do count on your varsity record if you get your hand raised and don't wrestle, so there's a little bit of benefit to be gained by that. There's more benefit to be gained by wrestling a match.
Yeah, for sure.
Just to get you ready, because it won't be very long here. Conference is just around the corner, then districts is shortly after that, and then middle of next month we're at the state tournament. So it's a time that, hopefully people are getting healed up and over illnesses and ready to make the charge here at the end of the season.
Yeah, in fact, Ainsworth hosting the Southwest Conference Wrestling Tournament next Thursday here at McAndrew Gymnasium. So you want to see some great wrestling, along with tomorrow's Ainsworth Invitational. Bulldogs get to host conference this year in wrestling Thursday. Well, I was looking at things. We have got a bundle of rated wrestlers who will be in town tomorrow for the Ainsworth Invitational. As coming in, it is Ainsworth, Brady, Burke Gregory, South Dakota, Central City, Crawford, Hay Springs, Loomis, Bertrand, North Central, Sydney, Todd County, Twin Loop, Valentine, and Winside. We'll come back with more as they're ready for the national anthem ahead of this quadrangular.
Tires you deserve from people you can trust. At Rock County Tire, their sales and service.
Welcome you back here on KBRB FM 92, KBRB.net, getting set for this dual matchups here in this quadrangular with 4 teams at McAndrew Gymnasium tonight ahead of tomorrow's Ainsworth Wrestling Invitational. And this first match, Ainsworth and Todd County, each team will have 3 wrestlers, but they will not be at similar weight classes, so we'll have a case where 3 members of each team will come out and get their arm raised, and we'll have some kind of a dual tie, I guess we'll say.
I guess it'll be an exercise in mathematics. We may see one match, but probably not, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, somebody'd have to move up or down from where they're listed
and
to actually wrestle.
Probably will. Yeah.
That looks like where we'll be is this is going to be forfeits for Ainsworth at 120, 152, and 182. Forfeits for Todd County at 138, 170, and 220 pounds. So that's how that will work. And, well, unless Ainsworth's got more in uniform. Maybe they do tonight. I'm not sure.
I did see 1 or 2 that were at least partially in uniform. Not sure if they're going to wrestle.
Yeah, I know Ainsworth's been dealing with some injuries. Yeah. They only had a couple wrestlers at the Mullen duels last weekend, and that was Mason Painter and Landon Holloway. I know they've got Owen Blumenstock and Regan Blumenstock listed on the roster for tonight, along with Jensen Williams at 182, Owen at 145, and Regan at 160. No, all 3 of those have been dealing with some injuries. So as far as actual matches wrestled tonight, we'll see if we do get anything on this opening match before we will get quite a few matches, we believe, in duel number 2 between Twin Loop and North Central. Following that duel, it will be Ainsworth Wrestling Parents Night presentation, and then Ainsworth will take on Twin Loop, followed by North Central and Todd County, and then Todd County and Twin Loop to close out the event. But boy, Bill was taking a look at some of the rated wrestlers, and how about the 113-pound weight class tomorrow? There will be 6 rated wrestlers in either Nebraska or South Dakota. Looks like all of them from Nebraska, including the Class C number 1 wrestler, and Drew Garfield. That'll be a familiar last name to Ainsworth fans, and from Central City. And then the Class B number 2 wrestler and Chance Hauser of Sydney. The Class C second-rated wrestler and William Springer of Valentine. The Class D 4th-ranked wrestler Nolan Osborne from Twin Loop, and the Class D number 7 rated wrestler Tristan Kruger from North Central, and the 10th rated wrestler in Class D Corbin Carlson of Winside. 6 rated wrestlers tomorrow just in that 113-pound weight class.
That'll be a great one to see.
Yeah, 4 wrestlers rated in the 120-pound weight class, including the top-rated wrestler in Class C, Cole Kuntz of Central City. Have a couple rated wrestlers in Class D, number 4, number 7, Jacoby Mann of Winside, Ethan Kipp of Twin Loop, and the C, number 9, Tristan Grooms of Valentine. So it looks like no matches wrestled, 18 apiece. So we declare a draw.
I don't think we'll probably go to. There's probably no criteria available to break it.
I don't know how you do that.
No matches
unless you have the coaches go out there and then square it off for
those takedowns or something.
Yeah.
I did talk to the Todd County coach before the duel, Josh Dean. I had the privilege to coach him at Valentine years ago, and he said the COVID really wiped them out. A year ago, they were not allowed to do anything with winter sports. And so he went from usually having about 20, 25 kids to this year just having 3.
Wow.
So they're hoping that with a healthy year, they can get the numbers back and start rebuilding that program, because they've always had fairly decent numbers there. And I know 30 years ago, they had 4 or 5 deep at every weight.
Yeah, so our next match will be Twin Loop against North Central, and we'll see some wrestlers in this match. And looking like it was taking a look, there are some rated teams as well that will be here, as Central City is rated 3rd as a team in Class C, Valentine rated 8th as a team in Class C, Winside rated number 3 as a team in Class D, and Twin Loop rated 10th as a team in Class D. We'll have a Class B school here in Sydney tomorrow. But, yeah, there are going to be, looks like probably in that neighborhood of 30 to 35 rated wrestlers out of Nebraska and South Dakota, and several wrestlers in the top 3. There's going to be some fun weight classes here to keep an eye on tomorrow at the Ainsworth Invitational. That gets underway at 10. They'll have weigh-ins prior to that. And so fans are welcome to come for the Ainsworth Wrestling Invitational tomorrow here at McAndrew Gymnasium. It is a full day of action as they basically just keep rolling right through. And they'll have a couple 3 mats going a lot of times, and it's a lot of action. So if you've never taken in a wrestling match, tomorrow will be a great day to do so. And then once you kind of figure out things that are going on, you can come back on Thursday for the Southwest Conference Wrestling Tournament that Ainsworth is hosting next week.
I did get to see some of the schools, Valentine in particular, at their invitational this year, which is always a great 2-day tournament. Valentine last year was really bit hard with the injury bug, and Shane Allison, coach there, has a lot of those kids back this year and a lot healthier, and they look to be pretty competitive. At the state meet last year, Sydney really showed well. They're a team back on the rise again, and they had been a long time coached by John Ganser, an Ainsworth graduate from about the class of 72. And so it's good to see them getting back on the right side of things, and just some really good wrestlers that were there, and saw several of the conference teams at that Valentine invite. And Broken Bow is another one that really looked like they were coming great strides again. They really have started to build their kids program back up, and everything's looking pretty good for them too.
Well, as far as tomorrow's invite, Burt Gregory always brings quality wrestlers down. Central City's got a great program, and you have Sydney, obviously, that will be down, Twin Loop, and Winside putting together good programs in Class D. Valentine always solid. You know, Valentine just over the last couple of years has graduated so much talent. They've just built a very good wrestling program there at Valentine, as you mentioned, and so they're schools that really are, you consider, wrestling meccas, and there's a few of them that'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, there are, and it used to be that the 2 schools from South Dakota, Burke and Gregory, on their own were very tough, and together they might be tougher. So they've got great tradition and history up there as well.
Well, we are going to have a match at 160 pounds to start our second duel, as they're going to move Levi Lewis up from 152 to 160 to wrestle Garrett Schneider of Twin Loops. We'll see our first match under the lights. See former Ainsworth Elementary principal Curtis Childers is our official tonight, wrestling official. So
good to see Mr. Childers. He has moved on from here to Battle Creek to be principal and be closer to the family farm, and it's good to have him back. He's an outstanding official.
Now, is he your replacement? No, you were
No.
secondary principal, right? He was elementary. So, but about the same time. Did you guys?
Yes.
Were you guys together, or did you retire by the time Curtis got here?
I think I'd retired by the time you did. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Well, so we are going to have a match here. They've got Levi Lewis, who is one of the top-rated wrestlers in Class D. In fact, Levi's rated number 2 at 152 pounds at Class D. But he's going to bump up to 160 pounds here in this duel to wrestle Garrett Schneider of Twin Loop. Little strategy involved there?
Yeah. I know they probably were able to see each other's records and that sort of thing, and it's good once in a while to bump up and take a challenge too. They're close enough in weight that it's not going to make a lot of difference that way.
Well, and North Central's got some options. They have Levi listed at 152, but they have 2 wrestlers listed at 145 in Branson Anderson and Ben Klimsrud.
Yeah.
Twin Loop has a 152-pounder, but not a 145-pounder. So, a little strategy plays in there as well. So we are underway with our first match under the lights here at McAndrew Gymnasium in this quadrangular showcase ahead of tomorrow's Ainsworth Wrestling Invitational. You kind of got to take it easy with the number of matches today because you can only wrestle so many in a week.
The rule is 5 in a day, except for the state meet. They've changed that rule now that you can do 6 in a day at the state meet and districts, I believe, which shouldn't be an issue.
Had a little action over there toward the side of the mat. Levi Lewis got a single leg, but a good defense there by Schneider to get it out of bounds before Levi could score the takedown. Well, we're about 40 seconds into period number 1. Of course, in wrestling, 3 2-minute periods. If they're still tied, you'll start going to 1-minute overtimes. And some jostling up here between the two. And you can tell Schneider a little bit bigger than Levi, but Levi's just a quality wrestler, very quick, and he'll score the first takedown.
A good little duck under there, takedown. He's in referee's position, flattened out his opponent. Now we'll go to work trying to get the arms back.
Well, Levi has had some concussion issues in football the last couple of years, and he's really wrestling is his first love, and so decided that with some of those issues, didn't want to risk his senior wrestling campaign. And
was able to stack his opponent briefly. They rolled through it, so there were no back points given. But he's setting up that same thing. He's going to wing on the left side and then try to catch a wrist with the other hand, or possibly have to come back the other way.
Well, just 15 seconds remaining in this opening period, and it looks like have a safety issue.
He actually slid his hand over into what they call a West Point ride, which would pry the shoulder out of the socket if you let it go too much. And so
every one of these moves looks like it's going to pry something out of socket to me, Bill. I got to tell you.
So it was just barely illegal, but it's easy to get into that position. So he did a good job of stopping that. Now he's trying to work the elbows together here and dump his opponent. Big kid, he's able to stay flat for the last few seconds and not give up any back points.
Well, there's no real time in between the 3 periods. They will just decide up or down. Each wrestler has the choice in one of the 2 second and third frames, and it's a 2-0 score for North Central after period number 1. This is at 160 pounds in dual match number 2. It is Levi Lewis against Garrett Schneider.
And it was Schneider's choice, and he chose the neutral position, so we'll start up with both wrestlers on their feet, just like we started the match.
I was a little surprised with that, with his size, that he might choose the up position and try to, from that position, try to use his weight on Levi. Levi obviously going to have a little quickness edge here in this neutral position, but don't ask me. I am certainly not an expert in this sport.
It's not a bad position for him to start with, either neutral or I would probably have put him down, but the kid Lewis rode him pretty well. So he's all right. Lewis is
now that on him carry. Is that what we call that?
That was just a double leg.
Oh, double leg take, but when he pulled him up into the air. All right, and Levi's going to get another takedown, and now he's got the back points.
Got the front head and arm locked up here, and it's going to be hard not to get pinned there for Schneider.
So Schneider trying to keep the shoulders off the mat as Lewis tries to finish this one.
Gathering up the head there. He's got a reverse hop on the head, and he's pushing the forearm away so he can't support on it. And if he lifts his head up toward the sealing a little bit, he should be able to get the shoulder blades down.
Well, Garrett's in trouble because they haven't started the 2-minute clock. It's stuck at 3 minutes, so Garrett was going to have to stay out of that a long time. So Levi will get the pin. We won't have an official time as they did not get the clock started properly, so it will be
they probably
second
kept
period.
it at the table. So
Levi Lewis scores a pin for North Central over Garrett Schneider of Twin Loop. And the Knights take a 6-0 lead in this dual match. Now we'll start to see, it looks like at 170 pounds, we should have another match between Slate McKeel of Twin Loop and Chase Jawicki of North Central. So we'll have a match here at 170 pounds.
And they are both weighed in at 170, so they're wrestling right there where they...
This will be a tough one for Chase. Slate is rated number 4 in Class D, and he immediately grabs a single leg and picks up the takedown. So this is at 170 pounds after Levi Lewis scores a pin at 160.
McKay's actually got the same combination on that the North Central wrestler had in the last one, where he's doubling up on an elbow and trying to work him to his back. It's kind of he broke off of it now. It's a little bit of an adaptation off of a front head and arm series. He's still working on an arm bar, doing a good job of that.
Trying to turn it into, it looks like some kind of cradle or something. Hey, you trust me, I'm just going to leave the wrestling to you. I've learned that over the years.
We're going to get a pin real quick here now. He had the arm barred and then reverse half on the head, and just good basic chest-to-chest pin.
So that'll be in 42 seconds. It will be Slate McKeel, again a rated wrestler for Twin Loop in Class D, picking up the pin over Chase Jawicki of North Central.
Looks like we'll probably have some hand raising here for a bit now, because I don't think that Twin Loop has...
No, they don't have, well, they've got a 220.
Yep.
North Central has a 195 wrestler, and Kip Leonard.
Looks like we're going to go...
So we will have a match at 220 here.
There, yes.
See if this is Bo Kaufman of North Central. I did not see them come out and raise a hand of anyone from North Central at 195, did they, or did I miss that? No, it's 6'6", so we'll see who is wrestling here for North Central.
At 220, North Central, Bo Kaufman.
It is Bo Kaufman against Cade Bator for Twin Loop. That's at 220 pounds. We are tied at 6 now in this duel number 2 between North Central and Twin Loop. Glad to have you along with us, Greg Kinsey and Bill Lentz, for our annual wrestling coverage of our area squads, Ainsworth and North Central, here in this quadrangular event before tomorrow's.
Kaufman tried a fireman's carry there and didn't quite get in. Botorf is a little bit bigger wrestler here. He's a pretty good-sized kid, and I don't know if Bo weighs a full 220 or not. I would guess maybe not, but sometimes a lighter gives you a little more speed advantage. But Botorf appears to be a little bigger wrestler. He's got the legs in, and he's trying for a pinning combination, but they're on the edge of the mat. And they are up, so there won't be any back points scored on that.
And Bator, by the way, is a rated wrestler. He is number 5 ranked in Class D at 220 pounds. So Bo's got his hands full in this matchup here. 6-6 tie in this dual match, midway through period number 1 at 220 pounds. Started at 160, so we'll go through the lighter classes where North Central has, looks like a couple more classes filled.
So Botorf is working on that arm again, and does have Kaufman on his back, trying to pick up the second elbow, and there he's got it. And that will probably be that for that match.
Still 40 seconds remaining, so Bo's got a long while to try to keep those shoulders from. Now, what is the official looking for?
Both of the shoulder blades have to touch him out at the same time.
That's
they don't want 1, 2, 3 or anything.
Yeah.
The scapula, the shoulder blade. Kaufman was actually able to fight his way out of there. So
trying to get up to the neutral position. And he
goes to him. And then with an over-under trip there by Botorf, he's right back and then pinned him.
Wow.
So
nice escape for Bo for a second. He scored a point, but
he did a nice job of getting back to his feet. But that over and under tie was too tight, and he got tripped and then right to his back.
So Cade Bottorff of Twin Loop scores a pin over Bo Kaufman of North Central. And that gives Twin Loop a 12-6 lead. The time 1:47 officially in that matchup. So neither team has a heavyweight wrestler or a 106-pounder.
It looks like we're going to have a 113 versus a 120 possibly. Ethan Kipp is at 120, and Jackson Kozad is at 113. It looks like maybe they will square off here.
So they will call this, seeing what they officially call this one. They're going to try. They're trying to get the scoreboard. Okay, so it is 113 pounds. Tristan Kruger for North Central, and I did not hear who they mentioned for Twin Loop, but this is at 113. Twin Loop does not have anybody listed. Oh, there it is, Nolan Osborne. There we go. They just got him out of order. So
there he is. Okay, yeah. Very good.
Nolan Osborne and Tristan Kruger here at 113 pounds with Twin Loop leading 12-6.
Had him down in the middle of the list where he was going to wrestle a 140-pounder.
They throw him. I'm throwing for enough loops already, trying to sound competent at play-by-play in wrestling. And then they move somebody over into the middle of the weight divisions on us. So
Osborne doing a good job of tying up wrists here and trying to arm bar. They go out of bounds, so they come back to the middle of the mat, start over again. So these are both 113-pounders, and they look like it.
Yeah, go from that 220-pound match down to the smaller weights.
Working for control here. Each wrestler's tied up on the head with one hand and fighting for wrist control with the other.
And it is, Nolan Osborne is number 4 rated for Twin Loop in Class D, and Tristan Kruger rated number 7 in Class D. So it should be a pretty good matchup here between two rated wrestlers in Class D.
These kind of matches can really go a long ways towards seeding in a district also.
We do have, that is one thing I printed out, are district matchups, as Ainsworth is going to be in the D1 district meet that'll be at Maxwell, and North Central competing in the D3 district meet that will be at Burwell. I believe Twin Loop must be in the D2 district, so they are not listed in the D3 or the D1, so they must be in that D2 district.
Evidently. The thing about these matches, too, is they often come into play when you do go to a seeding meeting and you look at common opponents as they decide who goes into what spots in the bracket. For those tournaments, they really do have a lot of importance. Right now, it's a little bit of advantage to Osborne with leverage, but it has not been able to take his opponent down yet.
There he scores
now
the takedown.
Yep.
And just prior to the first period sounding. So Osborne,
was able to get that with about 5 seconds left in the period, so well timed.
Pick up the 2-0 lead after one period on the takedown, and it looks like it's Osborne's decision.
It was Kruger's choice, and he deferred to the third period, so the twin loop wrestler will go to the bottom referee's position where he feels he can score a reversal or an escape. For a good wrestler, that's a position you want to be in the second period.
Try to get that escape point if you can. Or
trying to hit a switch
He's quick at 113.
It's one thing about these lighter weights, they usually can scoot.
Yeah.
So now he's in the referee's position at the top and working on a cross-face and an ankle.
A 4-0 lead now for Osborne in this battle of rated wrestlers in Class D. Kruger number 7 and Osborne rated number 4. Have a score update in the second boys semifinal from the Southwest Conference Tournament. McCook mid-third quarter leads Ogallala 44-38. Loser gets Ainsworth. The top seed tomorrow. Winner gets Minden for the conference championship. Now Kruger's got a leg trying to get something done with it.
He does. He's reaching back, which is not necessarily a good thing, into the leg of Osborne, yes.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a safety issue or whatever. Safety or stalemate? Okay.
Yeah, it's a stalemate because he couldn't gain any advantage with that. Reaching back in wrestling is generally not a good thing. Sometimes it can be if you hit a switch, like Kruger did to start the period, but You don't want to spend a lot of time doing that.
So much about wrist control as well in the sport of wrestling. If you've got those strong hands and can control wrists, that's a big advantage in this sport.
And right now, Osborne's got the crossface again, like I said. He's trying to dump his opponent. He's got the ankle and the crossface on the same side. Kruger's doing a good job of holding on to the leg and trying to get in a position where he
can drive that through in that spot when he's got that leg.
He does need to get his head off the mat. That'd make a lot of difference for him, and wasn't able to hold on to that. And Osborne was able to maintain control, and looks like he will ride him out through the second period.
Second period coming to a close. It'll be a 4-0 advantage for Nolan Osborne at 113 pounds. Twin Loop leads North Central 12-6 in this duel, and we're wrestling here at 113 pounds. Looks like Twin Loop will pick up a couple buys potentially at 120 and 126.
We're going to have a chin pin here if we're not careful.
That was quick for Osborne. So he's going to get a near fall.
Kruger tried to do a sit-out and got a little too long with it, with his hips out away from his shoulders, and Osborne was able to stop him and draw him down to the mat. But he's back in the referee's position again now, so to score again, he'd have to change off of what he was in, and he's done that now with a 2-on-1, riding on wrist, trying to bar up an arm.
3-point near fall for Osborne makes the score 7-0 in this matchup of rated wrestlers in Class D in this second duel between Twin Loop and North Central. 12-6 is the team score, and right now a 7-0 lead as we hit the midway point of the third period for Osborne over Kruger. Kruger just got to free a leg to get that escape.
He's able to get to his feet here, and
now he's trying to get a headlock.
Trying to do a twister off of that, and he was exposing his own back a little bit too much there. But
so I'm not sure he was ever credited with the escape.
He never was, because there wasn't complete control.
Still had one leg that Osborne had a hold of, but boy, it looked like for a moment that Kruger would certainly get at least an escape out of that, but I think he was trying for a little more.
Yeah.
Well, we've got about 30 seconds left in this third period. This is match number 4 that's been wrestled here in this duel. And another stalemate with 21 seconds remaining in period 3.
So Kruger's got one last chance here, basically, to hit a couple moves, try to put a couple things together and get a reversal or get an escape here.
So, yeah, running out of time is Tristan Kruger.
Osborne is able to open his hips up there a little bit. That's called a spiral ride. Where the one arm goes back into the crotch and the other one's in the armpit, and you put all the torque on the bottom wrestler that way and get him stretched out, and it looks like it's going to end that way.
So just 3-point decision, did not get to that 8th point for a major decision. If you win by 8 points, it's an extra point in a dual format with a major decision. Technical fall, 15-point lead in points is worth a technical fall 5 points for the team, and then a pin is worth 6. So Nolan Osborne will score a decision over Tristan Kruger in that battle of rated wrestlers. 7-0 is the final.
Now we may be mixing weight classes here. We've got another couple small guys. It could be
might see Jackson Kozak moving up to wrestle Ethan Kipp for Twin Loop.
I would suspect that.
At least they're announcing it, but I imagine that's going to be the case. That'd be the only wrestler North Central has that's anywhere near the 120-pound bracket. So
120 pounds. Twin Loop, Jordan Bay. For North Central, Jackson Kozak.
So Jackson Kozak for North Central and Jordan Bay Essman for Twin Loop.
Oh, there he is. Okay. A small 126-pounder.
Yeah, apparently so. So you never go by what they officially give you. We had Ethan Kipp listed for Twin Loop at 120, but that's why you always listen to who there's identified.
We got a quick takedown with tied up both the elbows. The bigger wrestler, we got him pinned.
Yep, 28 seconds will be the time, and that will be officially at 120 pounds. And so that is Jordan Bay Essman for Twin Loop. gets the pin in 28 seconds over Jackson Cozad. Just trying to write down these results as we go.
It looks like North Central's got a couple 138-pounders, but I don't see anything in that range for Twin Loop going down my list here.
So they're going to get a forfeit at 126.
They do have Garrett Keith at 138.
So 132, North Central should get a hand raised. It's 27-6 before this forfeit by Twin Loop is going to give North Central 6 points. So it'll be 27-12. So this duel will come down to these last few matchups here. North Central has the next few weight classes full at 138, 145, and they'll probably wrestle somebody at 152 with Lewis stepping up to 160. They've got two 145-pounders listed. Chase Concert gets his hand raised at 132, and so 138, it will likely be Gavin Pruitt for North Central and could potentially face off against Garrett Keith. But we always wait for the official word.
I think there's an additional 38-pounder from Twin Loop that's injured.
Gavin Pruitt, 138.
Gavin for the North Central Knights.
Gavin Pruitt. And Garrett Keith, I'm assuming?
I assume so. We didn't hear that announcement, so
I didn't either.
I will go with Garrett Keith until I'm told otherwise. This is at 138 pounds. North Central trails 27-12. They would need basically wins out of these next three weight classes by fall. There it is, Garrett Keith for Twin Loop.
So we were correct.
So yeah, this is just our annual foray into the world of wrestling here on KBRB. I am certainly happy to have Bill Lentz alongside to provide the technical expertise of this sport. Got a rich history, coach, and long time for this sport, and a big advocate for the sport of wrestling over the years.
It's a sport I didn't do in high school and fell into coaching my first year as a teacher. And
because they didn't have anybody else, and you said, well, I guess it's you.
So we won state that year at Hyannis, and I got hooked, and the rest is history.
There you go.
So, yep, enjoyed 22 years of it, 2 Class A schools, a Class B, and a Class C school. So
yeah, well, Hyannis, you had all those tough cowboys out there in the sand hills. They don't like being on their back.
No, and Valentine was much the same.
Yeah, very good, very true. So still, there's a takedown attempt by Gavin Pruitt, but it looks like they'll fight through it, Will Keith, and so still no score.
Keith is kind of laying his arm up on top there. Could be setting up a fireman's carry for Gavin Pruitt if he hits it here right. And there's the shot at it, and he spun out of a fireman's carry, and it looks like he just missed getting his takedown there, coming around to the side of it.
First period drawing to a close here in this match at 138 pounds. No score as of yet, just 10 seconds remaining here at 138 pounds between Gavin Pruitt and Garrett Keith.
Pretty evenly matched on their feet.
There, right before the buzzer, a 2-point takedown by Pruitt.
Pruitt was able to do a duck under to a double leg and caught it with just seconds remaining. So
yeah, I think that was awarded with just 1 second on the clock. So again, 2-minute periods. They have 3 of them, and if we have a tie, it'll go to a 1-minute overtime.
So Garrett Keith from Twin Loop has chosen the bottom position.
Twin Loop leads North Central 27-12. First match was a draw. Ainsworth and Todd County, each with 3 wrestlers, all at different weight classes, who received forfeits, so that match ended in an 18-18 draw. This is match number 2. Match 3 after Parents' Night will be between, now I got to find my sheets again. Here we go. Match 3 is Ainsworth and Twin Loop, and then North Central Todd County in match 4.
Pruitt from North Central is doing a good job of riding Keith. But looks like they're going to go out of bounds on the far side of the mat, but so far doing a good job of riding.
Really like the mats here that they have. The new mats here in the last couple of years for Ainsworth Community Schools.
They are
black mat with the red circle and the black inner Bulldog on that inner circle, and then the black outer with the white Ainsworth, and yeah, pretty sharp mats here.
Well, and this is a spotlight duel where they run a big spotlight that drops down from the rafters, and so the lights are off in the gym, except for a lot like a boxing light. I think coaches and fans like it more than announcers do.
Well, they were nice. They provided us a nice little desk lamp here.
Yeah.
Because that was one thing I didn't have to bring necessarily.
It's that way.
I got a whole bunch of different things I can bring to different gyms depending on where we go to call games.
Exactly.
But a little desk lamp is not one that I typically have in the repertoire to bring.
So with 45 seconds into the second period, Pruitt is still riding tough. He hasn't been able to open him up to any back points yet. And then he decides to let him go with about a minute 3 left. So they can get back on their feet and maybe he can hit another takedown.
So it'll be an escape for Keith and a 2-1 score in favor of Pruitt at this point, midway through period number 2.
Both the wrestlers are head-to-head there and fighting for hand positioning.
Well, you can see the real similar size between these two, similar builds.
Very similar.
Again, our referee, Curtis Childers, who's involved heavily in the sport of wrestling, now the principal at Battle Creek, as there's a 2-leg takedown for Pruitt.
That same duck under into a double leg again, and they're right toward the edge of the mat. They're on enough that counted, and he could still get some turns going here and have it count. He's got a half in now.
Trying to stay him down. Perry's got the back points. They're getting counted. And right now it looks like just off the mat, but it'll be a 3-point near fall. Good job by Pruitt here late in period 2, getting a takedown and a 3-point near fall to increase his lead to 7-1 as we head toward the end of the second period.
They've changed the back point rules somewhat too to more mirror college, where you can actually have part of your body off the mat.
Mainly the base has to stay inside.
Yep. Right, and in college now, if you got a shadow crossing the line, you're going to let you still wrestle, just for more action. And
period 2 comes to an end as Pruitt will take a 7-1 lead and chooses the neutral position. By the way, North Central, coached by Ainsworth graduate Zach Ziegler, and Witten Hoover is the assistant. Twin Loop, coached by Levi Likens, and the assistant is Tony By. Ainsworth, of course, coached by Todd Pollock, who's been at the helm quite a few years for this Bulldog program. He's assisted by Blaine Finney and Landon Welke. Third period underway as Gavin Pruitt with a 7-1 lead over Garrett Keith. And so does your strategy change here, Bill, when you've got the 7-1 lead? Do you say, well, just make sure we don't get anything that might be in the pin?
And here's why he probably should have taken the bottom position. He just got a headlock from his feet to his back with a 4-point lead. And looks like we have 3 back points.
Yeah, along with a 2-point takedown.
Then a technical violation
against Twin Loop. So they're explaining to Garrett Keith the illegal move there, but that makes it 8-6 after all is said and done, and now we've got ourselves a match.
We do.
Here with a minute 22 to go in period 3. Pruitt's got him faced, and now there's the escape point.
Gavin was able to do a nice sit out and to his feet. And I don't think he'll step into a headlock this time, most likely. He isn't going to want to be ear to ear. That's where you get caught with that headlock.
So a minute remaining in period 3. Gavin Pruitt with a 9-6 lead now over Garrett Keith of Twin Loop. This is at 138 pounds.
They've got an over and under hook up right now, which could create a throw again, but now they broke out of it. About 45 seconds left.
And again, it's all about trying to gain that wrist control and then use it to try to pick up a leg.
That would be an advantage to Pruitt if he would get a little bit more aggressive. You don't want to just try to finish your lead. You want to keep scoring, and he's been better on his feet.
The impetus really on then Keith to down by 3 to have to try to make something happen.
So takes a half shot there and gets blocked. His headgear is down on his chin now, so they could stop it for that, but we're in a switch and re-switch position right now. North Central got the head draw to it. He's got a bow and arrow cradle.
And time is going to run out as a nice match there at 1:38. And it will be Gavin Pruitt picking up an 11-6 decision to score 3 points for the Knights.
Good battle there.
Yeah, good match at 138. So that one is an 11-6 final score, makes your score 27-15. And now we go to 145, where Twin Loop does not have anybody listed. North Central we'll have Branson Anderson get his hands raised, and we could set up a match then at 152, likely between Ben Klemsrud of North Central and Archer Grint of Twin Loop. And Grint is rated number 6 in Class D. Klemsrud is rated number 8 in Class D at 145. So a couple of rated wrestlers, but with the way the matchups go, they're going to have Ben Klemsrud move up to 152 to take on Archer Grint.
These guys are both really long limbs, a little bit taller kids. So it'll be interesting to see if they wrestle a similar style.
So we could have potentially, Bill, another draw should North Central be able to manage a pin. It's 27-21 Twin Loop leads here in this final weight class of duel number 2.
And we're in a headlock-to-headlock position right now, which could end up with either guy. And right now it's Grant is able to take Klemsrud to his back briefly.
Just
not
looks like
enough
a takedown, not enough for near fall points.
Not enough for any back points to be counted out, but it was headlock to headlock, and not an ideal position to be in, but we got a takedown out of it.
Now we got a blood timeout, the first one of those. That's a common occurrence in wrestling. For me, you'd need like shoulder socket separation, knee replacement, injury timeout, those types of things. So, yeah, but they'll tend to Ben Klemsrud. He's moving up to 152 in this one, getting kind of roughed up by Archer Grint to start this match, 2-0. And I appreciate you get a 5-minute injury timeout is how they can get that stopped. A lot of times it's just shove some gauze up the nose after you clean it up. And so, Well, we need to take a break here real quick while they're going to the injury timeout here from some of the folks who make these broadcasts possible. We'll have more basketball on the air over on AM 14-106.3 and the web coming up with the semifinals of the Southwest Conference between Ainsworth and Broken Bow. Ainsworth loses to Minden 61-58 in the boys' game, and it was the second semifinal tied at 56 between McCook and Ogallala, so another good semifinal there from North Platte. We'll come back in a moment on KBRB.
Do you know who the biggest North Central Knights fans are? Well, it's the gals at the Springview Herald, that's who. Subscribe today for one low cost and catch up on all things North Central Knights, plus so much more. The Springview Herald, proud supporter of the North Central Knights.
Think of the Bulldogs every time you swipe your card with Union Bank and Trust Bulldog debit card. It's the perfect way to show off your Bulldog pride wherever you use your card, at home or away. Union Bank and Trust, you belong here. Member FDIC.
All right, we're back here to McAndrew Gymnasium with Greg Kinsey and Bill Lentz on FM 92, bringing you this wrestling feature tonight on KBRB. We're at the final match in this second duel between Twin Loop and North Central. Twin Loop a 2-0 advantage in this match with Archer Grint leading Ben Klemsrud. And Twin Loop has a 27-21 lead in the duel heading into this final match.
A lot of action in this match. Both guys are pretty confident in what they're doing. Got a half Nelson in by Grant now, but from your knees, that's awful hard to get turned. We're seeing Klemsrud trying to get a sit out into something, but the half is just keeping him from getting where he wants. Now Grant's got both wrists, trying to work into something there. Trying to get a 2-on-1 maybe, or roll both wrists under and then possibly walk around the front for some sort of a headlock.
Well, you can see Grant's a little bit larger than Klemsrud. Yep. Ben is a rated wrestler at 145, but the way this duel works, they moved Levi Lewis, their 152-pounder, up to 160, trying to fill as many weight classes as possible, as the Knights have second wrestlers at both 113, 138, and 145 listed, so they move things around to try to fill as many weight classes as possible.
Yep, that's the chess match of the duel, and trying to get the most points. And if we do have a draw in the Ainsworth Todd County where there were no matches wrestled, I guess it will end in a tie, but otherwise you go back to a whole list of criteria, and I think it starts with most wins, if I remember right.
Most wins in matches wrestled?
Most wins in matches wrestled, yeah.
That's a good tiebreaker.
So there are a lot of different tiebreaker criteria, so it wouldn't actually end up in a draw in a regular duel.
So Klemsrud in the up position to start period number 2, trailing 2-0 to Archer Grint. Final match of this second duel. And then we'll have a break for Parents' Night here at McAndrew Gymnasium for the
Grant's going
wrestlers.
to get a switch there, and he did. He was able to do that, and kind of a back bow switch, and is able to go right back to work on Clemsrud.
Well, we mentioned Grant is the number 6 rated wrestler at 152 pounds in Class D. Ben Clemsrud rated number 8 in the Class D at 145. But they're battling here at 152 pounds officially. Probably won't see each other tomorrow in the Ainsworth Invitational. They'll be competing in different weight classes. And I like it too. They're basically, instead of when you have 2 wrestlers at one weight class, they were making you basically have one of those wrestlers wrestle as unaffiliated or in a JV capacity. Now they're letting you score both wrestlers at one weight class.
And we're, especially in this day and age of COVID and everything else, getting kids out and keeping kids out with all the different health concerns and things, it's worth whatever it takes to keep the sport alive and growing.
Well, and that's it. It's just a numbers game a lot of times.
Very much
so many schools are anymore taking half dozen kids or less to meets, and just because they have 2 at the same weight class, you punish one by making them move up, or you don't let them count for their team, and it kind of rewards as well the teams that have the deeper programs that they can put a couple kids out at one weight class.
Very much so.
So we are in period number 2 here. Just had a quick injury timeout. It's blood timeout rather. It's 4-0 Twin Loop leading North Central in this match at R152. Archer Grant for Twin Loop and Ben Clemsrud for North Central moving up in weight.
Grant really wants to try to get a turn with a half Nelson, but it's a good rule of thumb not to be hitting a half Nelson when you're on your knees, because you can get headlocked pretty easily. You're off balance.
Did get an escape there from Pruitt before it went out of bounds. It'll be in the neutral position as Ben is on the board at 4-1. But you can tell Ben a little bit undersized here, and he's breathing heavy. It takes a lot out of you to go up against a kid that's a little larger.
It does, but in practice they wrestle up and down.
Very true.
So they're used to guys a little bit different size too. And if everybody had the luxury of a lot of kids at the same weight class, that would be an issue, but that's not generally the way it is.
So a 2-point takedown here for Grant as we close in on the final seconds of period number 2 in this final match of our second duel. We knew this would have the duel match with the most actual matches wrestled, as both Twin Loop and North Central have a pretty good squad of kids. Ainsworth and Todd County limited numbers, so those following duels won't have a lot of matches wrestled. So the buzzer sounds. It's 6-1. Grant leading Clemsrud as we head to period 3, and Clemsrud will go from the down position.
So Clemsrud's first move is trying to get his opponent a little bit high on him, but really didn't get a chance to hit a second move and gets bellied out pretty fast. So the bigger wrestler is able to take advantage of his size a little bit more there.
Yeah, this will be a tough spot for Clemsrud here, down 6-1. He would need a reversal and potentially some back points to try to get himself back into this one. And again, short of a pin over Grant, Twin Loop will win the duel as they're leading 27-21. But it's nice to see this is our 7th match wrestled in this duel, so that's always good. And a lot of criteria you have now, the dual championships that have moved up the week ahead of the state tournament. And
right there,
move it over.
That's why you don't want to have a half Nelson on your knees, because you can get reversed like that. So
now we've got a match, 6-3, and if Clemsrud can somehow find a way to score a near fall.
Yeah, you'd have to have a cradle or something here probably, but Clemsrud did a nice job there of knowing what his opponent had. And when the guy is behind you with that half on his knees, it opens his hip up to do a little hip tip there, and that's what happened. But Grant comes back out in the front there. He doesn't have his escape yet, but he's close. And
just got to free that left leg from
hanging on for dear life.
Trying to save the escape point, but it's almost at this point in the match you might just have to let that escape go and then try to get a quick takedown, because you're running out of seconds, down 6-3.
So right now
it's the 1 point and it's not getting a chance to score.
Hanging on for dear life, but not scoring any points. So there is a stalemate. Official will bring him back to the middle.
Ben will have to get something quick here He'll start in the top position. Just 14 seconds remaining in this match. It's 6-3, Grant with the 3-point lead.
Holmeswood has indicated to the official he wants to do an optional start.
Yep, let him up.
So he has to put his hands on his back, and then he'll let him come to his feet for 1 point, and then try to catch him in some kind of a headlock or something, but walks right into a takedown.
Yeah, I think he just looked like he was confused on what he really wanted to try to do as he let Grant up, and now he's got to avoid getting pinned here in the final seconds. No, it's going to be 5:59.
1 second left.
On the pin for Grant. So Archer Grant gets pinned. That was a good match, though.
It was.
Especially considering Ben moved up 7 pounds.
And Ben had to do something there at the end to try to put himself in a position where he could still get a headlock or something.
So that'll be 33-21 will be the official final score, as Twin Loop will win that duel over North Central. And we're going to take a break as they will have Parents' Night here for the Ainsworth wrestling team, and I suppose likely the wrestling cheerleaders as well. So we'll take a break on KBRB. A big thanks to all of our sportscasters who bring you these broadcasts, as it is a little wrestling showcase tonight on KBRB FM 92.
Stretch your hay supply with Brad Fox Grinding. Grinding hay is one of the most efficient ways to feed hay or other forages to livestock. Brad Fox provides on-site forage and grain grinding service to those who wish to make the most efficient, economical use of their available feedstuffs. Call Brad Fox today to schedule a time to stop and grind. For reliable, dependable hay grinding service, call on Brad Fox Grinding of O'Neill. Phone 402-340-4038.
Jones Salvage of Ainsworth, proud supporter of Bulldog Athletics, has new steel and windbreak steel available, tractors and vehicles, and pays competitive prices for scrap iron, vehicles, and farm machinery. Call Tom at 402-382-8004 or Willie at 402-382-8784.
The Whistle Stop offers floral arrangements and gift items for any occasion. Fresh flowers and silks, plants, bouquets, sprays, and arrangements. Let the Whistle Stop in Bassett make it a memorable occasion with one of their unique creations.
Experience, reputation, and results. This is Laura Lee Frank at Bruner Frank Shoemaker, LLC. We pride ourselves on personal attention and solid results for your legal needs. We have law offices in both Kearney and Ainsworth for your convenience. Give us a call today.
For independent grain marketing, contact Pride Grain, located on Highway 20 between Long Pine and Bassett. Pride Grain has a variety of marketing tools available to meet your individual marketing plan. Contact Pride Grain, a supporter of local athletics. Depend on the pros. When it comes to customer satisfaction and fair prices on electrical and heating, ventilation, and air conditioning work, call on Pro Electric and HVAC of Ainsworth, Trent Kenny, and Blake Shipwright. Phone 402-382-5535.
Providing a pulse in Ainsworth and the surrounding area, the Brown County Hospital ensures our rural area stays healthy by offering emergency services, primary care services, and physician services right here at home. The Brown County Hospital, quality in community health care.
Jim Arnhold of Arnhold Insurance Agency in Bassett can provide you with health, life, and cancer insurance, Medicare supplement, nursing home, and disability coverage, business and estate planning. Give Jim a call at Arnhold Insurance in Bassett, 402-684-2901.
Palmer Law Group, LLC attorney at law in Ainsworth, focuses on you, the client, with complete legal services and with reasonable fees. Rod Palmer of Palmer Law Group, LLC, Ainsworth, member of the KBRB Sportscasters Club.
Buying or selling livestock is made much easier when you buy and sell with Bassett Livestock Auction. Remember, sale day is each Wednesday, so make plans to attend or call to consign your livestock. Bassett Livestock Auction, Bassett.
Well, we're going to bring you back here quickly to McAndrew Gymnasium on KBRB FM 92, KBRB.net, and those joining on the Kennel Vision video stream of this one by Ainsworth Community Schools. Always appreciate the support of community schools to let us bring our audio into their video feed. Hope it adds to the broadcast for you folks, and trying to check on the audio issues here between our radio board and the video stream. So we have had two of our duels complete. The next number of duels likely won't have as many matches combined as the duel that just wrapped up with Twin Loop defeating North Central 33-21. Ainsworth and Todd County ended in an 18-18 draw. And our next match will be Ainsworth taking on Twin Loop. And as far as matches wrestled, we should see a 152-pound matchup and potentially maybe a 120-pound matchup in this one for the Bulldogs and Twin Loop. So we should see a couple matches, get our first chance for Ainsworth to get a couple kids on the mats. And then the fourth matchup will have North Central taking on Todd County. And in that one, should see a match at 138, potentially a match at 170, and at 220 pounds, where Todd County has a rated wrestler in South Dakota, Class A number 6, Rocky Wiedemann. He is rated number 6 at 220 in South Dakota's Class A. So those will be our potential matchups in the next two matches between Ainsworth Twin Loop and then North Central Todd County. Greg Kinsey joined by Bill Lentz, and looks like we're having parents' night here. So, Bill, I guess I'll hold that thought. We'll take a break while they go through the wrestling parents. Tell you what, the parents, Bill, put on a ton of miles during the wrestling season to follow their kids.
Yes, they do.
Well, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back with more wrestling coverage on KBRB.
Local news, personalized with pictures. As it happens, that's the Ainsworth Star-Journal, hot off the press each Tuesday. The Ainsworth Star-Journal offers a full line of printing services, and you can find them on the web. That's the Ainsworth Star-Journal, located on East Highway 20 in Ainsworth.
Buckley Steel Incorporated of Ainsworth. Not only do they offer complete metal building construction for your every need, they also supply your crane needs with their 28-ton crane that can reach 152 feet with just a 15-minute setup. That's Buckley Steel of Ainsworth.
Meals come together with ease and freshness when you shop at Homeland Grocery in Springview. Save money on low prices every day on lean cuts of meat, the freshest produce, plus select quality dairy, canned and boxed goods for your family at your locally owned Homeland Grocery in Springview. Proud to support the North Central Knights.
Fontanelle, your game changer in the field. From local proven product recommendations to in-season advice to harvest insights, solutions you need, relationships you trust. Call Terry Kachera, your local Fontanelle representative today, 402-992-8391.
Rural health care from rural roots. Better health care for your family from clinical, obstetrical, emergency room to home care. Greater Sand Hills Family Health Care with convenient locations in Bassett, Stewart, and Atkinson.
Well, as we come back here to McAndrew Gymnasium as part of Parents' Night, Bill, we need to talk a little bit about the girls wrestling program that's now officially sanctioned by the NSAA. A lot of separate meets and locations, and sometimes where they have the girls bracket in addition to the boys bracket at some of the invitationals. But tell you what, Ainsworth's got a 113-pounder on the girls' side. Freshman Jolynn Pozell, who is having a fantastic year. I believe she's only lost a couple of matches and has won several of these invitationals. And, of course, on the girls' side, just 4 districts, and they take, I believe, the top 3 from each district, and no class variations. It's all one class, so everybody wrestles against everybody.
And I was doing a little research on it today just so I'd know something about it when I got up here tonight. There are 12 weight classes in the girls, so their weight classes are a little bit different than the guys. Not a lot different, but a little bit different.
And bunched up a little bit more at the lower weights. And Ainsworth has 2 girls wrestlers, as Tatum Nicholas is wrestling there and in that 120-pound range. And
both of these girls,
she's really improved as the season has gone on and picking up some medals now at some of these meets.
Yeah, it's been good to see. You know, we used to bump into some girls wrestling with the guys, which is an idea.
It's always a little bit awkward, unfortunately.
Clear back 30 years ago, at Valentine, I had a 112-pound girl that beat our starting varsity guy in wrestle-offs. And unfortunately then, in the next tournament we went to, some of the coaches wouldn't allow, or some of the schools wouldn't allow their guys to wrestle against girls, although they'd done it as kids in the kids programs, so it was just always awkward.
Well, I remember the case that kind of got some bigger attention was over in Iowa. Had a young lady that made the state tournament, and a defending state champion in Iowa basically said, no, I'm not going to wrestle her, and basically forfeited a match at state and a chance to defend his state title. And, you know, it's nice to see the NSAA seeing that there is interest in the girls that want to take up this sport to give them a chance and to make it an official NSAA event and sanction it, have some structure to it, and bring a district and state tournament to it.
So they have officials, they have everything just like the guys do. Last year the state tournament was kind of
it was like a trial run.
Open, really, like colleges would have in their pre-conference seasons, and so they had great attendance to that, and I really think this is a step forward, and hopefully it'll help spark interest and get numbers back up in the guys' end of things too, because it is a great sport. It's a hard sport. Takes a lot of hard work, like all of them.
A lot of dedication to be a wrestler. You've got to train your body as well as learning the technical aspects of wrestling, and then just the physical demands of this sport. What I do like to see now is how they are taking a little bit smarter approach with kids' bodies and the amount of weight that they allow them to drop. I remember the days in high school where those wrestlers would shed a bundle and just torture themselves to get to a certain weight because they felt that was an advantage. And I always asked, I said, is it not a disadvantage that you're just, torturing yourself all week to where you just feel like you probably don't have a lot of gas in the tank?
Yeah, it was
spending so much energy trying to get down to the weight.
It was not a good process. In my early years of coaching, I coached on teams where we handed out plastic suits as part of your workout gear.
Put your sweats over the top of that.
Yeah, if you got caught with a plastic suit even in your wrestling room now, you could find yourself on the wrong end of the NSAA, and rightly so. Those were some bad practices. We got smarter. We used our science knowledge a lot better, and so now they look at the physiology of it. They can account for a little bit of growth, but really, you just cannot, because they test your body percent of body fat and how dehydrated you are, and you just can't do it like you used to do it. And even on my first team that I ever coached, to the state championship team, I had one young man that probably should have been a state champion, didn't place a state because he was so dogged down, had lost so much weight by the state tournament. He got through districts all right, and at state he just could not go anymore. Was a center on my football team, and then went down to 126, and that was just, it was self-induced torture, and it wasn't the way to do it. And we're so much smarter about it today, and it's better for the kids, and it won't have some negative effects on their health later on. And hopefully we didn't do too much damage back in those days, but we do it a lot smarter now.
Yeah, very true. Well said. And they do allow a growth allowance from the second half of the season. They give you 3 or 4 pounds on top of what that's actually listed.
And as you get into districts and state meets, once you make the initial weigh-in with those weights, each day you can be a pound heavier, I believe, on the weight. So they take those things into account.
Well, we do have a final from the Southwest Conference Tournament, second boys semifinal. Wow, did we have 2 fantastic games at Mid-Plains Community College Arena in North Platte. The first game you heard on KBRB, Minden with a late free throw and steal and layup to break a tie and defeat Ainsworth in a game that was back and forth throughout. Minden knocks off the top-seeded Bulldogs 61-58, avenging a regular season loss to Ainsworth and Minden. And in the second semifinal, McCook led much of the game. Ogallala fights back, and how about this one? 73-71, the final. Ogallala defeating McCook, going to come back to advance to a championship to try to defend its conference title. It'll be McCook and Ainsworth for third place early tomorrow afternoon in the first game of the day for third in the conference. But wow, 2 fantastic semifinals.
And not only that, McCook will get to turn around next week and travel here to play the Bulldogs again.
Correct, and for the McCook girls, they'll be making their second trip up here in a couple weeks, as they were here Monday for the opening round of the Southwest Conference Tournament.
Yeah, and I'd just like to remind any of our McCook friends that might be listening out there, it's the same distance both directions.
Yeah, well, and we get to make more of those trips to the south. So just trust us, you don't get a lot of sympathy when you complain about the drive up north, because we make numerous drives to the south for this conference. So, well, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We've got more wrestling scheduled. We've got a little break in the action here before we get to Match number 3, which will be Ainsworth and Twin Loop, could see 3 matches, or a couple matches wrestled in that one between the Bulldogs and Twin Loop, and then could see 3 matches wrestled in match number 4, North Central and Todd County, which will wrap up our coverage here tonight from McAndrew Gymnasium in our little wrestling feature. Have Ainsworth and North Central competing here, and both teams will be in action tomorrow in the Ainsworth Invitational. And that will be a 10 o'clock start tomorrow, and some very good teams that will be coming to town along with the Bulldogs. Brady, Burke Gregory, South Dakota, Central City, Crawford, Hay Springs, Loomis Bertrand, North Central, Sidney out of Class B, Todd County, South Dakota, Twin Loop, Valentine, and Winside. So you have some rated teams and numerous rated wrestlers just going up and down the list. We've got, it looks like 6 rated wrestlers in the 113-pound weight class tomorrow, 4 rated wrestlers in the 120-pound class, 3 rated wrestlers in 126, rated wrestlers at both 132 and 138, 3 rated wrestlers at 145, 3 rated wrestlers at 152, 3 at 160, 3 at 170, a couple at 182, 3 at 195, and 2 rated wrestlers at 220. So as you get later into those semifinals and championship matches, you're going to see some really high-quality wrestling here tomorrow at the annual Ainsworth Invitational. Well, we're going to take a break. We'll come back, see if we're going to have match 3 get started here at some point between the Bulldogs and Twin Loop. 2 duels in the books, Ainsworth and Todd County, a 3-match win draw with forfeits, and Twin Loop defeated North Central with 7 matches wrestled, 33-21, the final score.
Ainsworth Auto Parts CarQuest Store, East Highway 20 in Ainsworth. Great people, great products, great prices.
Get the lawn you've always dreamed of with K-Lawn. Daniel and Matt will make sure your lawn gets exactly the treatments it needs, exactly when it needs them, all season long. Having a beautiful lawn is easy and affordable with K-Lawn of Bassett, 402-684-3557.
Three River Telecommunications strives to better serve their customers of North Central Nebraska with the latest telecommunications technologies, local and long distance, DSL, and digital HD TV. Three River Telco Lynch, Three River Communications, and Three River Digital Ainsworth.
Ainsworth Vision Clinic. Dr. Kathy Heinrich serves this area with complete professional eye care. Vision care is available now from 8 a.m. to noon and 1 to 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 8 to noon on Friday in Ainsworth. With Dr. Kathy Heinrich at Ainsworth Vision Clinic. Call 402-387-1531 for an appointment.
Farm Bureau Financial Services of Ainsworth offers you auto, home, and life insurance, annuities, and IRAs. Contact Angie Davis, Farm Bureau Financial Services, located on Main Street in Ainsworth.
Rock County Agronomy provides you a complete agronomic package, including soil sampling with recommendations to meet your crop's needs, custom blending, and application of nutrients and chemicals. Rock County Agronomy of Bassett.
Shepherd Feeding Company of Mills is an 8,000-head commercial feedlot. They also provide a market for locally grown corn and hay. When you are looking to put cattle on feed, contact Doug Shepherd at Shepherd Feeding Company, Mills, Nebraska.
Springview Implement and Supply, Troy Cook, for all your hardware, plumbing, and electrical supplies, and ranch, farm, and commercial welding. Troy Cook of Springview Implement and Supply, 1 block west of the flashing light in Springview. Proud to support the North Central Knights.
This is Dave Sears, Ag Loan Officer with Homestead Bank. The Ag Bankers at Homestead Bank understand the risks and rewards of farming and ranching. We can help you look ahead and plan for a season of success. Stop in or call to visit with one of our experienced bankers today to start your journey. Homestead Bank, member FDIC.
Nebraska Beef, it's what's for dinner. Miles Feedlot, Mark and Haley Miles, are proud to support Ainsworth Community School students moving forward in academics, athletics, fine arts, and organizations. Go Bulldogs!
A family of doctors caring for families. There is nothing more important than your family's health. That's why at Avera St. Anthony's Hospital in O'Neill, they make it their goal to provide you with comprehensive quality care every day. Avera St. Anthony's Hospital in O'Neill, Nebraska. Look no further.
Tall Tales Taxidermy in Valentine will help you display your trophies with their quality wildlife artistry. Furry, feathery, or scaly, they do it all. Check out their website, talltalestaxidermystudio.com, or stop in at 103 North Cherry Street in Valentine.
Vero Wireless is your one-stop shopping destination for all of your communication needs. Whether you're looking for cell phones, accessories, home internet service, or home phone service, Vero has you covered with the lowest rates and the best coverage in the industry. Stop on down at our store corner of Highway 20 in Main and Ainsworth. Vero Wireless, we are where you are.
Orton Feed Company of Mills can help you supplement your cattle without the use of high-priced corn or cake by using economical Lumix ADM feeds. From Orton Feed Company, Jason Orton of Mills, proud supporter of high school sports.
When you need to find a spot at a price that's right, roll in the spot.
Ainsworth Auto Parts open weekdays 7:30 to 6 and Saturdays 8 to 4. Phone number 402-382-3600. Ainsworth Auto Parts, CarQuest Store, East Highway 20, Ainsworth.
Your Zematic by Lindsay dealer offers replacement parts for any brand of pivot, installation and training, superior service when you need it.
Your local Zematic by Lindsay dealer is Ainsworth Electric Motors, located just 1 mile east of Ainsworth on Highway 20. Call 387-1071.
Grow Vantage provides area farmers with elite products and services. For a proven yield advantage, visit with Brad Arns at Grow Vantage, East Highway 20 Ainsworth. They're your local Pioneer Seed Agency, with you from the word go.
Turn your equipment into cash with Big Iron. Hi, I'm Logan Leonard, your area Big Iron sales rep, providing solid support for selling your ag, construction, and transportation equipment. No hassle, no reserves, no hidden fees, no freight costs. Call me today at 402-925-8184.
Scott Rosichka with Soother's Feed, a second-generation nutrition-first company that truly cares if you're successful. With our products from everything from mineral to cube, custom feeds, consultations, heifer development programs, seed stock supplier programs, we can do it all. That's Scott Rosichka with Soother Feeds, 402-358-2083.
Well, you're getting to hear some of our Ainsworth and North Central sportscasters who make these broadcasts possible throughout the seasons as we cover in the fall and winter all of our area athletes. So a big thanks to those folks. We have Niobrara Valley Conference Tournament basketball on the air tomorrow. We'll be at two sites at 2 o'clock from Stewart. It will be the West Holt boys, the 7th seed, taking on 10-seed Niobrara Verdigris. That'll be followed by the 7th-seeded Stewart Bronco girls coming off a fantastic win last night over the top seed in the tournament, O'Neill St. Mary's, playing in a regular season matchup. Stewart will take on the 10th seed Boyd County Spartans. That will be about 3:30 or 3:45 or so, and those will all be on FM 92, and then we'll zip from Stewart over to Springview and try to catch what will be a 6 or 6:30 matchup between the North Central Knights, the 6th seed, and 11th seed Boyd County. In the boys' quarter opening round matchups, North Central girls will play a 2 o'clock match in Springview against Neely Oakdale in the 5-12 matchup, and then West Holt will be the number 11 seed on the girls' side. They'll play at around 5 or so against 6th seed Summerland. I don't think, Bill, I can quite make it from Stewart to Springview in time to catch that West Holt and Summerland match, but I might be able to get on the air for maybe the fourth quarter of that one to get you the finish anyway.
Need a helicopter.
I do. I've said that several times. I need to get the ad prices up to where I can afford the weather chopper. That's what I need, and I can dual purpose that one. So, yeah, so we're getting set for a matchup here between now Twin Loop and Ainsworth. So you could explain the delay here, if you would, for us a little bit.
The rule is that a wrestler can't wrestle 2 times within 45 minutes. So once the duel with the Twin Loop kids finished, their first kid to wrestle has to have 45 minutes before he can wrestle again. It's just time for recovery. And it slows things down occasionally, but not too much. But you don't want to tax kids so much that they can't go faster. And I've seen the rule waived occasionally, but it shouldn't be. And so they're just playing it by the rules, and now we're ready to go again.
And at this matchup between Ainsworth and North Central, again, the Bulldogs, I believe, just 2 wrestlers available tonight that have some others dealing with some injury. I believe we have Mason Painter at 120 and Landon Holloway at 152 available to wrestle, and they should get chances to wrestle in this matchup. They did not match up with Todd County in any similar weights, but they should against Twin Loop, as Twin Loop has both a 120-pounder and a 152-pounder listed. And they had a Jordan Bay Essman wrestle at 120 in the match against North Central. He was listed at 126, but you also have Ethan Kipp at 120, Keegan Stroll at 126. So see what they do there, a potential matchup against Ainsworth's Mason Painter. Painter's record, 5-14 on the year at 120 pounds. Landon Holloway had a good meet down at Mullen. I believe he won 4 of his 5 matches in the Mullen duels. And at 152, his record is now up to 9-11. And in the Bulldogs with Jensen Williams, his record 11-9. But don't believe he's still kind of fighting through an injury. He did not wrestle in the last couple of invitationals for Ainsworth, so he's trying to get back and try to see if he's going to be available for potentially either conference this week or districts, trying to make sure they get him back potentially for districts.
And if I remember right, that might be a football thing that Jensen's still trying to recover from,
yeah,
too.
Could be for sure. So again, Ainsworth coached by Todd Pollock, assisted by Blaine Finney, and Landon Welke, Twin Loop, coached by Levi Likens, assisted by Tony Bai. And they are getting set now for a 120-pound matchup between Mason Painter of Ainsworth, and we'll see who Twin Loop brings up. He's going to identify himself, and then we'll know who we're seeing at 120 pounds along with Mason.
And this, again, is part of the chess match, especially if you have full squads, moving people around as long as you're weighed in at that weight class.
So it'll be Jordan Bay Essman who will wrestle for Twin Loop at 120, so he'll get both matches. He scored a pin over Jackson Kozad of North Central in 28 seconds, so Mason will have his hands full with Jordan Essman. He's listed 126 on our program, but he's wrestling here at 120 pounds. Ethan Kipp is rated number 7 in Class D at 120, but we're not seeing him tonight. And instead, we're seeing Jordan Bay Essman get both matches here against their opponents at 120 pounds. So
I did get to see Mason wrestle at the Valentine Invitational on the first day, and he is improving. He's picking up his game and learning this sport, and he's kind of in a growth spurt too this last year or so. So it's catching up with everything, and it's going to be a great sport for Mason. And when you're the young guy and the littler guys, you just got to sometimes take your lumps and learn the game and just keep fighting away at it.
You know, they really try at the youth programs to get kids exposed to wrestling. Of course, Ainsworth Wrestling Club, you have the Bassett area Mat Men, Wood Lake, you have Western Edge, and a lot of these kids at the early elementary to late elementary and early junior high levels before they get to that 7th and 8th grade official programs, they're wrestling through these for these club teams and going all over the place.
And I think we saw better numbers at middle school this year. I've heard, I did not get to see them this year, but
yeah, unfortunately, a lot of times, especially at that lower level, you've got wrestling happening at the exact same time as that youth basketball.
Yeah,
and the kids, unfortunately, even at that, have to kind of choose which practices to attend and which meets to attend.
Mason took a pretty decent shot there to start with, but he did end up getting taken down. His opponent's got the legs in, cross-body leg ride, trying to work a half.
Yep,
Mason really needs to get to his stomach here.
Going to be in danger time here for Mason Painter, about 30 seconds in, and that'll be potentially a second quick pin, and it is for Jordan Bay Essman. So, wow, at that's 2 quick ones, one in 28 seconds and one in 33 seconds for Jordan Bay Essman as he scores a pin over Mason Painter of Ainsworth. So that will be a match wrestled. Our next match we're anticipating will be at 152, where we'll see Landon Holloway for the Bulldogs. Twin Loop obviously going to win the duel in points with the Bulldogs, just 2 wrestlers, but we're going to get to see our first look at Landon Holloway. And again, Landon they went to a dual format for the Mullen Invitational, and really Landon got 5 matches in their 5. 152 was a popular weight class for the teams that Ainsworth wrestled there, and Landon went 4-1 in that duel format on Saturday. So he had a pretty nice day down at Mullen.
I've really seen Landon growing athletically. You know, I announced football games from the press box, so I get a bird's eye view of that. And as an athlete, he's just really coming along nicely and again, learning the sport. And I think this is going to be a sport that will benefit him a lot, and it'll benefit him as a football player a lot too.
Well, it's certainly, you just have a different mindset to step onto that mat and know that it's a physical sport. Yep. and there's no teammates, and that's it. That's right.
Yeah. And it's the old Iowa football, which I'm not a great fan of Iowa football, except that they have a fullback and are physical. But Iowa has had a long tradition of their offensive and defensive line being wrestlers because they're really good with their hands and they're really good with their foot placement. So Landon gets shot on right away, but he's able to counter, grabbing a far ankle and trying to get his hips back up, and that's a potentially dangerous on the knee there, and we'll come back up to our feet.
So it is Landon Holloway at 152 for Ainsworth and Archer Grint, and Grint does show the effects of that hold there from Landon, and so they're going to square it back up at the neutral position. And Grint at 152, he scored a pin in the final second over Ben Klimsrud of North Central. Grint, as we mentioned, is a rated wrestler in Class D, rated number 6. I don't imagine this is the first time these two have gone up against each other on the season.
Landon's got a little bit too tall in his stance there and got taken down.
Grint's physical. He's a physical kid.
And Landon's really strong, so it'll be interesting. Grant right now is doing a 2-on-1 wrist ride, so he's trying to expose Landon's back and trying to get him turned. Right now he's on his stomach, but he's working up to his base, which is exactly what he needs to do, and keeping the hands out in front of him.
So we are midway through period number 1. Grint has the 2-point takedown and is now trying to go to work from the top position against Ainsworth 152-pounder Landon Holloway. Again, the Ainsworth Invitational meet 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and certainly welcome everybody to come take in high school wrestling. You don't have to travel. You got it right here at McAndrew Gymnasium tomorrow starting at 10, and then you'll get another chance Thursday as the Ainsworth Bulldogs will host the Southwest Conference meet. You'll see some excellent wrestling programs that will make the trip north here for that one. And Broken Bow, Ogallala, you've got some Cozad always has good wrestlers. Gothenburg's got a pretty solid program. And, of course, Valentine always brings a good program.
Both of those are going to be great opportunities to see some really good wrestling.
McCook out of Class B will be there on Thursday. So that was a schedule change. They had it originally scheduled for Friday, but moved it off of Friday because girls' districts are on Friday, and some of the teams have coaches that pull double duty. They don't have separate coaches to take the girls while the boys are at a different location. So they moved conference wrestling to Thursday.
Looks like we have injury time out.
Yeah, we do. It's injury time as the first period is over. And it's a 2-0 lead for Archer Grint over Landon Holloway. We're going to take a break here on KBRB, our coverage of this high school wrestling quadrangular. We'll come back with more coverage from McAndrew Gymnasium after this.
Insurance is confusing. Make the options clear. Stop into one of the North Central Insurance Agency locations, 220 North Main Street in Ainsworth or 506 West Highway 20 in Atkinson. Talk to the professionals, and they will help guide you to the perfect policy for you and everything in your life.
Get your game on at Palmer Embroidery and Boutique. You can get your Bulldog gear here. Not just for students, we have all fans covered, including parents and grandparents. Bulldog Pride? It's kind of a really big deal at your locally owned hometown boutique on Main Street in Ainsworth.
Making car shopping fun again. Whether you're in the market for brand new or pre-owned, shop the great selection at William Crotter Company, where service is a family tradition. See them at 305 West Douglas in O'Neill, or you can find them on Facebook and CrotterAuto.com.
Stand solid with proven genetics from Barstow Angus of Springview. Each year in the early spring, Barstow Angus offers to beef producers throughout the region outstanding Angus bulls, raised and fed to ensure structure and breeding soundness. Barstow Angus of Springview.
All right, we're back here after an injury time. We are back into this 152-pound match between Ainsworth and Twin Loop. It is an escape for Archer Grint, who started in the down position for period 2, and he now has a 3-0 lead over Ainsworth's Landon Holloway. This is at 152 pounds, will be the final wrestled match in this duel. Twin Loop 36-0 on the scoreboard through the forfeits, and the pin by Jordan Bay Estman over Mason Painter of Ainsworth at 120 pounds. Greg Kinsey and Bill Lentz on the coverage here from McAndrew Gymnasium, and we've got our championship game of the Southwest Conference Tournament tomorrow on the boys' side set. It will be Minden taking on Ogallala. Ainsworth will battle McCook for third place in the conference down at North Platte, and there's a 2-point takedown.
Had a double leg, just a good old-fashioned double leg by Grant, and Grant used about 1 minute and 5 seconds of injury time. You get 2 minutes of that. It appeared like he was maybe sick to his stomach or something, but he still has 55 seconds of that in case he needs to stop again. But
so he has a 5-0 lead now as the match heads out of bounds, and they'll return to center with Holloway in the down position, and Grint leading 5-0 in this matchup with Ainsworth 152-pounder Landon Holloway.
It'll be interesting to see if Grint does something besides riding the wrists here. He really hasn't gotten to the next stage, which is trying to come up with a pinning combination. He's just riding wrists. Could be called for stalling on that if he doesn't improve. He's got an armbar now, and
they're going to call us.
Yeah, it's slipped off to potentially dangerous.
Yep.
So they'll start again.
And Curtis Childers, our official tonight, and he'll be here tomorrow officiating as well. They'll have, I believe, 3 mats going.
Yes.
For the Invitational tomorrow, starting at 10.
I believe in the final matches they'll probably go to 2.
Yeah, in the finals, correct. All right, we're in the final 20 seconds of period number 2. In 3 2-minute periods here for each match, and if we happen to have ties, we'll go to an overtime. And this should be the final match wrestled here in this third duel. Fourth duel will be between North Central and Todd County, where we could see 3 matches wrestled in that one that have wrestlers at similar weights. And the time will expire in period number 2 as Grint will have a 5-0 lead over Holloway going into the final 2 minutes.
Really didn't do anything besides ride the wrists there. If I was back in my coaching days, I'd have probably been yelling for a stall call. But
Grant's not feeling the greatest. He's probably just trying to get through the next couple minutes.
Took a shot there and had him in a bow and arrow cradle and let it go. He probably should have stuck with that a little bit longer and gave up another double leg takedown and right back to riding a wrist and an arm bar. We'll see if he improves off that. As long as the top wrestler is staying parallel and not trying to improve his position, he's subject to being called for stalling. He is trying to walk around the head right now, and he did that and got Landon turned toward his back.
And there's the pin that comes in the third period, 30 seconds in, so that will be 4 minutes and 38 seconds, the official time, as it was Archer Grint of Twin Loop getting the pin over Ainsworth's Landon Holloway. So that will wrap up the Bulldogs on the mats tonight here in front of the home crowd, and the next match will be between North Central and Todd County. So now it's just a matter of wrapping up the official point totals for Twin Loop on the final forfeits. So that is going to cover that match. 2 matches wrestled, both go in favor of the Twin Loop Wolves. So that is going to take us through match number 3. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll get set up for match number 4 between Todd County and North Central in our little wrestling feature here tonight on KBRB FM 92 and KBRB.net, as well as those joining us on our school Kennel Vision video stream of this wrestling here this evening on KBRB.
Madison's Great Western serves all of your fertilizer, fuel, and propane needs. Give them a call or stop by their office. West of Ainsworth, visit with Bob Maxwell. You'll find Madison's Great Western makes your fertilizer and fuel needs their number one priority.
Don't overload your brain circuits trying to find a qualified electrician. Make one call to Painter Electric, Randy Painter in Springview. Professional, affordable, experienced, and he is local. Phone 402-497-2086.
Count on your New Holland dealer, Sandhill Equipment of Bassett, to answer all of your farm equipment needs. They pride themselves on a hard-earned reputation for fair prices and unparalleled service. Visit them online at sandhilleq.com. William Crotter Lumber Company of Ainsworth, Bassett, Stewart, Atkinson, O'Neill, Spencer, and Gregory supply all of your building needs, from the tiniest finishing nail to truckloads of lumber. William Crotter Company, where service is a family tradition.
Concrete is the cornerstone of many building projects. Stewart Concrete, with locations in Atkinson, Stewart, and Valentine, can mix cement and water with all the ingredients to make the right concrete for the job. This mud's for you. From Stewart Concrete, serving you from Stewart, Atkinson, and Valentine. Call 402-924-3644.
Doing what's right yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Investing in our local communities is not a one-and-done project. At GJW, LLC, and Sandhills Elite Genetics, they take their responsibility to produce safe food seriously, doing their best for people, pigs, and producers. Rural health care from rural roots. Better health care for your family, from clinical, obstetrical, emergency room to home care. Greater Sandhills Family Health Care with convenient locations in Bassett, Stewart, and Atkinson. From concept to completion, Halleck Construction, Scott Halleck, specializes in steel buildings, custom-built homes, additions, kitchens and bathrooms, drywall, window replacement, siding, and more. When it's time for improvements, call on Halleck Construction of Springview.
Maintain and enhance a beautiful lawn with Paulson's Lawn Service of Ainsworth. Jerry and Norma Paulson. Mowing, lawn cleanup, power raking, aerating, fertilizing, and spraying. They provide free estimates, references gladly given. Paulson's Lawn Service of Ainsworth.
Stretch your hay supply with Brad Fox Grinding. Grinding hay is one of the most efficient ways to feed hay or other forages to livestock. Brad Fox provides on-site forage and grain grinding service to those who wish to make the most efficient, economical use of their available feedstuffs. Call Brad Fox today to schedule a time to stop and grind. For reliable, dependable hay grinding service, call on Brad Fox Grinding of O'Neill. Phone 402-340-4038. West Plains Bank of Ainsworth and Springview values each customer. They strive to offer you the financial products and services to help you accomplish your life's goals. West Plains Bank, Ainsworth and Springview, member FDIC.
Plan for life with Peterson Asset Protection Group in Ainsworth. Kirk Peterson offers life insurance, annuities, investment products, retirement planning, estate planning, and long-term care insurance. Phone 402-519-0330.
Well, we welcome you back here to McAndrew Gymnasium on FM 92 KBRB.net as we're awaiting our fourth and final dual match. It will be between North Central and Todd County, and we'll complete our coverage in this one. And getting set up for districts here for the Knights and the Bulldogs. Ainsworth on the 11th and 12th of February will be down in Maxwell competing in the D1 district meet. And along with Ainsworth, it will be Alma, Ansley Litchfield, Arapahoe, Axtell, Cambridge, Doniphan Trumbull, East Butler, Elm Creek, Harvard, Hastings St. Cecilia, Heartland Lutheran, Highline, Howells Dodge, Maxwell, Palmyra, Pender, Sandhills Valley, South Loop, Southern Valley, Stanton, and Hildreth Wilcox will be the teams there. They're not covering any mileage at all there, are they, in that district?
Yeah,
that's a little bit of a chunk of the state.
That's a third of the state at least.
So Ainsworth must have got put out in that group. I don't know how you pair that one up, because then you look at the D3 district, and it's almost kind of the same geography for the most part. You know, you've got teams in the D3 along with North Central that will include Anselmo Myrna, Brady, Burwell, Central Valley, Creighton, Elgin Public Pope John, Niobrara Verdigris, Osmond, Overton, Palmer, Plainview, Ravenna, Riverside, Santee, Scribner Snyder, Shelton, Southwest, St. Mary's, Thayer Central, and Wisner Pilger. So that one stretches from the northeast part of the state down to the south central part of the state. The D1 is all the way from the north central part of the state to western Nebraska down to the southern tip of the state.
They're like diagonals.
So I don't know how they set those districts up. I don't claim to be an expert by any means, but you've got a bundle of teams. There's only 4 districts statewide in wrestling, and the top 4 from each district qualify for state. You'll have a 16 player bracket as we're getting set here for match number 4. I did not see what the official final was in that Ainsworth and Twin Loop match, but it was in favor of Twin Loop. This will start at 182 pounds officially between Todd County and North Central, and we are looking at the potential for 3 matches, as Todd County has 3 wrestlers in uniform tonight, North Central with numerous, but they will have the 3 wrestlers for Todd County in weight classes where North Central will field a wrestler. 138 pounds, it's Abri Waugh for Todd County. At 170, Jashawn Saddlemayer. And at 220 pounds, Rocky Wiedemann. Those are your wrestlers for Todd County, again coached by Josh Dean. North Central coached by Zach Ziegler and Witten Hoover. And the Knights at those weight classes should potentially have either Gavin Pruitt or Peyton Ebert. It was Pruitt against Twin Loop at 130. Oh, Pruitt actually wrestled at 138. Ebert got his hand raised at 138. Pruitt wrestled at 145. So we'll see who the Knights send out at 138 to take on Waugh. At 170, you'd likely see Chase Gawicki of North Central and Jashawn Saddlemeyer. And at 220 should be Bo Kaufman for the Knights against Rocky Wiedemann, a rated wrestler for Todd County.
And that's who we do have in this first match.
So it'll be Kaufman for North Central and Wiedemann for Todd County. And this will be one of the matches wrestled here. North Central should likely win the duel with the Todd County fielding 3 wrestlers, but should have a tough one here for Bo Kaufman, as Wiedemann, a rated wrestler, and you can tell he's a real strong physical kid.
Picked up single leg right away, but they spun out of bounds, so no takedown.
So we're just underway in what we think will be the first of 3.
Wiedemann's got that single leg. Whip trying into a double, caught the head.
And he's got back points and a potential pinning position.
Very close to the line there.
Kind of let him up.
Let him up out of that because I think he knew he was going to go out of bounds anyway.
So gets the 2-point near fall, the 2-point takedown, and then Kaufman the 1-point escape, and it's 4-1. Wow.
Using
and
an arm drag.
Right back to work.
Arm drag into a single and switched that off to a double, gets his takedown, but goes out of bounds.
Didn't quite finish the takedown. Didn't quite finish it before the rest. I think Kaufman was like, get me out of bounds and let's get the little reset here.
A little dark over there.
And look at Wiedemann use the head there to try to force Kaufman's head out of position.
Kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really a lot of upper body strength and just kind of imposing
will. Shot by Kaufman there, but he's going to get cross-faced into a cradle possibly.
Yeah, just the strength of Wiedemann is apparent in this match. So there's the takedown as Wiedemann frees the leg that Kaufman had shot for. And it's now 6-1, and Wiedemann's just going to let him up for the escape and then go back to work again. Wrestling is draining, especially when you're on the wrong end of that, just trying to get out of it. Boy, Kaufman's head bouncing all over.
The only thing I see Wiedemann doing right now that's could get him in trouble is laying that arm up on top. It opens up his hip there. He got it's whizzer to whizzer, but he did give up the takedown there.
Yep. So Wiedemann with another takedown leads 8-2. A lot of action here at this 220-pound match.
So he has Kaufman's arm barred across his back, and now he's going to try to gather up the headlock there. So it's a head and arm pinning combination.
Getting him turned, but just 3 seconds left.
Got a reverse half on the head and just ran out of time.
So we'll get a 3-point near fall, and that'll make the score 11-2, but Kaufman does survive the first period. Kind of looks up like, what truck just ran into me there?
Wiedemann's going to choose the down position now.
So 11-2, Todd County in this match at 220 pounds in match number 4.
Wiedemann's quickly to his feet, working on the hands. Turns around for a whizzer, breaks the hands, so there's a 2-point reversal.
And Kaufman back in the down position, 13-2. Of course, if you get to a 15-point lead, it is a technical fall and 5 team points. and it's 13-2 right now. A major decision is a 8-point or more victory. Technical foul at 15, and then, of course, the extra point to 6 for the pin. A straight decision of 7 points or fewer were 3 points in the dual format.
Kaufman's doing a good job of continuing to work his base back under him. He wants to step away and not into that headlock, or he's going to find himself cradled. And that may go out of bounds before he can get that put on him.
So we're approaching the midway point of period number 2. Wiedemann leads 13-2.
Now Wiedemann's pulled him back in far enough that he's got what's called a bow and arrow cradle, where he's got the head.
Trying to use the head into the ribs to get him turned.
And now he's got him in it's hard in that particular position to get the pin, but he's going to get his back points.
And Kaufman nearly broke out of that for an escape, but Wiedemann was able to continue to keep position, and he scores 3 more on the near fall to make it 16-2, and he's 1 point away from picking up the technical fall. Now, the other thing with near falls, you can't go from a near fall, let him back, turn him over in the same position.
Yeah, you have to change into a different move, maybe from a cradle to a head and arm or something.
Yeah, because some people say, well, you roll him over, get your points, you roll him back, you roll him over again, but you do have to change.
You do have to change, yep.
So in the final 15 seconds, as Kaufman trying to survive another period.
An arm bar and a head draw.
And that may be enough. Kaufman's doing a nice job. There he does, gets the back points, and that should just about do this one. 4 seconds left in the second period.
He can lift the head a little bit. He can get him pinned. He doesn't quite get that done, but he's going to have his tech fall.
That'll be the technical fall, and it'll be 19-2, the final, at 220 pounds. And so this is the matchup, North Central versus Todd County. And tell you what, watch out for Rocky Wiedemann tomorrow.
Rocky will show up tomorrow. Both of the wrestlers did a nice job. Bo is maybe a little out-strengthened there, but had his hands full with Rocky is a rated wrestler in South Dakota, and we can see why.
Well, and of course, his first opponent tonight for Bo, Cade Bontorf, also rated number 5 in Class D in Nebraska for Twin Loops. So get to see 2 rated wrestlers did Bo in this one. And so it looks like our next match will potentially be at 138 pounds, as North Central will pick up some forfeits in between now and then. And then we'll see which wrestler North Central puts up at 138 to take on Avery Waugh for Todd County. So we're here in our final match coverage on KBRB of this quadrangular here from McAndrew Gymnasium. The Ainsworth Invitational begins at 10 tomorrow morning, and it is the wrestling teams that are competing: Ainsworth, Brady, Burke, Gregory, South Dakota, Central City, Crawford, Hay Springs, Loomis, Bertrand, North Central, Sidney, Todd County, South Dakota, Twin Loop, Valentine, and Winside. So a good meet with some quality rated teams. Winside is rated number 2 in Class D as a team. Central City and Valentine rated 4 and 5 in Class C in the latest team ratings. So it will be Gavin Pruitt for North Central. He wrestled at 138 in the last match, and he will take on Avery Waugh of Todd County. So a chance again for Gavin to pick up.
Takedown right away for Gavin Pruitt. Took a big double leg shot. Waugh right away got right back to his feet.
So he'll get the escape, and Pruitt the quick 2-point takedown.
We're 2-1 within 15 seconds of the match starting.
Yeah, quick shots there from Pruitt to get another quick takedown. Gavin quick getting inside.
A little duck under, then he let him back up, kind of the opposite of what we saw in the last match.
I like seeing those wrestlers who just get the quick takedowns and the quick escapes and just want to go to take you down again and let you up. That can get frustrating. Instead of working too much on trying to turn over for the near fall and the back points, just build it up a point at a time with the takedown versus the escape.
So Pruitt got a second takedown, ran a double leg again, and now he is working from the top position. Looks like he's got a 2-on-1 on a wrist. Going to try to break the hips down on Waugh.
Leading 6-2 midway through period number 1 in this match at 138 pounds. Our other match should be at 170, where Jashawn Settlemeyer for Todd County will likely take on Chase Gowecki of North Central. And now Pruitt's
able to walk
position
around ahead and had Waugh in for a couple back points, I believe.
I did not see an official word given on whether he picked up the back points.
Evidently not.
So must not have got him all the way over.
Nope,
they did get the 3. Okay.
Now he does another roll through, a little bit of a side cradle roll through, but no bad. Now there's a back bow, and that's going to stop.
So they gave him a 2-point near fall there. I wasn't sure he had him over enough the second time to get the 2-point near fall, but he was awarded. So it's 11-2 now for Pruitt. And they're going to give the escape to Waugh.
He had Waugh into a kind of a back bow where your back doesn't bend that way, and so the North Central wrestler decided to let him up so he could wrestle from his feet.
Yeah, just
felt
another
confident in
quick
his takedown.
Wow.
And he's got really good, quick little double leg shots, especially.
Yeah, Gavin Quick there at 138 pounds.
Talking about these little guys, they usually can really scoot.
Yeah, so that's a 13-point period for Gavin Pruitt, and I believe it was 4 takedowns along with 5 near fall points, a 3-pointer and a 2-pointer. Pruitt will start in the down position for period number 2, leading Waugh 13-3. And we should have one more match after this at this duel between Todd County and North Central. Looks like Twin Loop will be out of here undefeated today, and Twin Loop gets to wrestle yet again. They will have another match taking on Todd County.
Had a switch right away by Pruitt, and he's back on top for 2 points.
Gets the reversal, and he's now 3 away from a technical fall, so one more near fall here.
Got a half on the near side.
And there it is. He's going to potentially get him over for some back points, and pin or no, it's either going to be a pin or a technical fall. They let the period complete before they get the technical fall, or do they wait till the...
Well, if they're in a pinning position, they do give them the opportunity to get a pin.
But if not, if he gets back into a base, then they'll stop it.
His base in, right.
And there's the pin. It comes at 1:23 remaining in period 2, so the official time will be 2:37 for Gavin Pruitt, who finishes the day 2-0.
And an exhibit of good sportsmanship by Pruitt there, helping up his adversary and shaking hands.
So Pruitt gets the pin. Now, so the question becomes, tomorrow, will Gavin only be able to wrestle 4 matches, or will he be able to go the full 5?
No, he'll be able to go 5.
Okay, I was thinking
it doesn't count into the next day. It's per day.
Per day.
Per day.
So 5 matches in one day. I thought there was maybe another, like a 6-match limit for a week. Not the case?
No,
okay.
not the case. It's per...
6 matches in a day.
Yeah, per event. So some of the big dual tournaments that they have, like at Central Community College, there's a big one in eastern Nebraska that you'll get 5 duels on one day and 5 duels the next day. So
well,
you
know
the
the bigger tournaments like Valentine and some of these others that bring a bundle of teams in and fill up the full bracket to where they go to a 2-day. They wrestle a couple matches on Friday and then wrestle the remainder on Saturday, similar to the state tournament where they break it up over several days, knowing you're going to have full brackets, and you don't want to see kids having to forfeit if they're wrestling through the consolations and get to a medal match where they've hit that 5-match limit and aren't able to wrestle potentially like for 3rd place.
Yep. And where you can get with that too is that it doesn't count as a loss against you if you're up against your day's limit.
Right.
So what they usually do is split the points and then flip for the medal. So
even if it's only one wrestler that's reached the limit and the other one who hasn't potentially?
Right.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, and it's always a progressive on how the points total up for those invitationals. The deeper you get into the semis and into the championships, those are weighted higher than if you're scoring points through the consolation round.
Yeah. And so the case where you would, in a big tournament where you could get into that is if you lost in the 1st or 2nd round and then you wrestle all the way back and win quite a few matches in a row to get into like a consolation semifinal, then you could run into that 6th match possibly.
Well, it is a quick takedown for Jashawn Settlemeyer wrestling against Chase Gowecki for North Central. This is Settlemeyer's first match tonight. Gowecki lost by a pin in 42 seconds to a rated wrestler in Slate McKeel for Twin Loop. in their first dual match. So we're in period number 1 at 170.
Settlemeyer working on a wing and a wrist on a wing and a wrist and bringing his opponent around for a little chin pin, but he didn't quite keep his hips down enough, and he's still in control position.
42-5 is the score in this duel, with North Central leading thanks to forfeits at their filled weight classes, but trying to get to his feet. Gawecki now taken back down by Settlemeyer.
So Settlemeyer's going 2-on-1, got the arm bar back. Now if he can reach across with a reverse half or a cross face. Oh, but we're going to stop it there. Again, it turned into what's called the West Point ride, where the hand across your opponent's back has to be 90 degrees. If it goes up toward the toward the top of the shoulder, then it's called a West Point ride, which is an illegal move, and it's not by design. You slip into it pretty easily.
Have a little blood time out here for Gawecki, as it is 2-0 the score, so they've got the 5-minute blood time starting. Do have an update from the Southwest Conference Tournament semifinals. It is at half, Broken Bow leading Ainsworth 20-12 in a defensive game. Ainsworth, the first time those two teams played, jumped out to, I believe, a 15-2 lead over Broken Bow before Broken Bow battled back. But here it's Broken Bow leading 10-5 after 1, and now 20-12 at the half, an 8-point lead over the Bulldogs. Broken Bow, the top seed, trying, I believe Cody said, for its 5th straight conference tournament title. For the Broken Bow Lady Indians, as they've built a very good girls basketball program, and they have an 8-point lead over the 4-seed Bulldogs, as Ainsworth boys lost to Minden by 3 and will play McCook in the consolation game, as there's a quick escape for Gawecki.
Got a quick
takedown
and got taken down with a double leg right away.
So final 20 seconds of period number 1, and Settlemeyer lets him up again and then just drops him.
He's got a good double leg, and got to be careful he doesn't lock his hands here, but Gawecki's doing the right thing, getting back to his feet, trying for hand control, but Settlemeyer takes him back to the mat again.
So should be, I believe, he had 2 escapes, I think, was it not, for Gawecki, and 3 takedowns for Settlemeyer? I think is going to be the case. Should be 6-2, I believe. They've got it listed as 4-1.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Looks like they're going to let it stand at 4-1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Settlemeyer had given up 2 escapes intentionally and had 3
they were so
takedowns.
fast, it was hard to tell, and there was another takedown immediately.
So he now, it looks like a 6-1 lead over Chase Gawecki. This is at 170 pounds, and for that weight class, Jashawn Settlemeyer's got a lot of quickness.
Yes, he does.
Wrestling for Todd County, got the blue and gold uniforms. And North Central in their black and blue.
There's a good half Nelson by Settlemeyer. He's got Gawecki in trouble.
And there's the pin. It comes 38 seconds into period number 2. So it will be Jashawn Settlemeyer wrapping up a pin over Chase Gawecki. And that will do it for our coverage here, as the final matches will be forfeited, and it will be winning 2 of the 3, Todd County, but it will be a win for North Central in the dual format. And when they get it all said and done, I believe it'll be 48-11 will be the final score. And that should do it for us, Bill. So appreciate you joining us here. And again, invite everybody up to the Ainsworth Wrestling Invitational tomorrow. It will start at 10 a.m. And some great wrestlers that will be competing. And I believe we are at somewhere around between 30 and 35 rated wrestlers who will be here in some classes to watch. There are 6 rated wrestlers at the 113-pound weight classes tomorrow from classes B, C, and D. The number 1 rated wrestler in Class C, the number 2 rated wrestler in Class C, the number 2 rated wrestler in Class B, and the number 4, 7, and 10 rated wrestlers in Class D. So that'll be a highlight bracket tomorrow, 113. There are 4 rated wrestlers at 120, including the number 1 ranked wrestler in Class C, Cole Kuntz of Central City. 126 has Caden Ellis of Windside, the top rated wrestler in Class D, and the number 2 rated wrestler in Class C, and Tristan Burbach of Central City. So could have some really good matches tomorrow, especially into those semifinals and finals at the Ainsworth Invitational tomorrow. Big thanks to Bill Lentz joining us here on KBRB for his wrestling knowledge that he's willing to pass along, and certainly makes my job much easier, and the broadcast is thankful for it, because it would be a struggle for me to try to get you some of the more intricate things about the sport of wrestling.
Well, thanks. I sure enjoy it.
So that'll do it. A big thanks to all of our North Central and Ainsworth sportscasters bringing you this wrestling coverage on KBRB. For Bill Lentz, Greg Kinsey saying thanks a lot for listening. Folks, invite you to turn over to FM 106.3 as the Ainsworth Bulldogs and Broken Bow Lady Indians squaring off in the Southwest Conference Tournament semifinals from North Platte, and it was Broken Bow leading Ainsworth at the half by a score of 20-12. With that, we are going to say goodnight and send it back to the KBRB studios.
Tradition runs deep at the fifth-generation Smith Angus Ranch. Kent and Cameron are dedicated to providing top-quality genetics to maximize their customers' profitability. Annual bull sale at the ranch south of Bassett, the fourth Friday of March. Check out their website at smithangus.com.
You can come to West Hope Medical Services for health care for your whole family. With a primary care clinic open 5 days a week, visiting specialists nearly every day, and a top-notch therapy and rehab facility, we have you covered for whatever comes up. 402-925-2811.